today? Well, today I'm at the Forest Run Fest Moonlight Edition. It doesn't look very moonlighty right now, but that's because it's actually about 6:15 p.m. So we're actually going to kick off the race at 7 o'clock, and we're going to run a half marathon through the beautiful Bottle Lake Forest. So this is the one that I did previously in the middle of winter, first thing in the morning when it was very cold, and that one is appropriately titled Frost Edition because it's frosty, naturally. So this one's the Moonlight Edition because it's run at night, so looking to finish in the darkness. If you remember last time, I ran into a bit of trouble, not trouble so much, just I ran out of steam a bit, about the 16k mark, just sort of, I couldn't push beyond a certain pace. I was just a bit sluggish. So I'm coming in hot with the hydration vest. I've been drinking so much water today, probably annoying my family with how often I've been going to the toilet, but I've also been trying to keep my electrolytes up close to the race. I've got the bladder full with water, but I've been drinking electrolytes from the little bottles that come with this. So I've got electrolytes in there, and then I've taken one gel. I might rip into another gel before the race, but I'm about to go warm up, so I'll catch you guys on the other side after the finish line. Might even be tomorrow. See how tired I am, and I'll let you know how I get on. Sure. Kia ora. So a quick race recap. How did I do? Well, I got a time of 1 hour 53 minutes and 11 seconds. That's my official time. So if you recall from the last half marathon that I ran, the exact same course, it was just the Frost edition of the Forest Run Fest, so it was in the morning. This was the Moonlight edition, so it was at night. The idea being that you finish the race in the dark. So that first one I got like 1 hour 45 minutes, something like that. So this time I had a slower time. Why was that time slower? I actually felt like in almost every aspect I was faster and felt better about how I was running. So I felt like I was maintaining a faster pace and doing it easier, if that makes sense. So that obviously doesn't explain why I was slower, because, well, the reason I was slower, two reasons. First being at around the 8k mark, I had some murmuring in my stomach, and turns out I needed to poop. So I've talked a lot about poop strategy, followed the same poop strategy as last time. No caffeine all day Saturday, no gluten all day Saturday. Fortunately, I think I can pinpoint it to a milkshake that I had in the morning instead of a coffee, and I think that just didn't sit well in my stomach. Possibly having gels with it probably made things curdle, I don't know. Had to poop at the 10k mark, so obviously wasn't running for a couple of minutes, and that affected things. The second thing, we were required to bring whistles for safety. Obviously, if you get lost or if you get injured, whistles are a great thing in the dark because you can hear when you can't see. A reflective vest and a head torch. So I had a head torch, had a reflective vest, had a whistle. Discovered though that my head torch was not in any way good enough for what I was doing. So I've used the head torch whilst running on the roads where there's a lot of ambient light floating about, houses, street lamps, the houses on the hills, everything around you, stars, moonlight, whatever. Running in the forest though, where there's a tree canopy, there's no ambient light, it's just pitch black, my head torch just didn't cut it. And I actually had to hold back from one group that I was running with because their head torches were so good that they were drowning out my head torch, and it was really like, as soon as they looked away, I suddenly couldn't see because their head torches were so bright. So I hung back from them so that I could use my head torch and really adjust my eyes, focus on what my head torch was showing me. I actually had to really slow down because it came to a point where like trails winding through the forest at the end there, the last couple of Ks, it's in the darkness, forest trees around you, the trail goes this way, and then it goes that way, and you're running and suddenly you're like, whoa, okay, there's a tree there. Which way does the trail go? Does it go around the tree? Does it veer off to the right? Does it veer off to the left? So you have to sort of stop, get your bearings, go, oh, I'm going that way. They just have glow sticks marking the trail, and you just sort of had to stop and look for them. If I had a better head torch, which I think I'm going to have to go get a couple, obviously you have one in use and one spare, and then I can use the other ones as hand torches or whatever, the more useless ones, let's call them, for the Valley Ultra. If I had a better head torch, I think I would have just been able to maintain a super strong pace, because I came out of the forest at the end of that race and I was able to just rocket along. So for big parts of this half marathon, you're just using sort of forestry roads where you can sort of drive an ATV down a gravel track, and then you dive into the forest and you're running on walking tracks, things like that. So when you're on the forestry roads, they're long, they're straight, they're very easy to run on compared to these forestry roads. They're not very technical, the forestry trail, sorry. So the forestry roads are very easy to run on. And I finished in a blistering pace, and I felt so good crossing the line. I even did like a big jump as I crossed the line, just because I felt so good. So it is a bit of a shame that sort of my time went down, because on the surface of it, it's hard to say, is your training getting better? But I think looking at my splits, I was very happy with how I ran. I think I averaged, so this is including stopping to use the toilet and running very slow the last couple of K. I averaged on Strava, so take that with a grain of salt, it's using GPS tracking, but I averaged on Strava 5 minutes 11 seconds per kilometre, which for me, I don't know about for you, but for me, I was quite happy with that time. I had numerous kilometres, practically the whole first 10 Ks was under 5 minutes per kilometre. So I was smashing. I felt really good. I think with the training that I've been doing, I'm built for an ultra marathon. I'm feeling really good heading into this ultra marathon, this Valley Ultra, and seeing how I can manage all these new skills that I've learned. And yeah, sorry, I thought I heard something, but yeah, Greeky house. So yeah, I'll probably catch you guys next week. Thanks for following. See you later.